Welcome to the Westport Library. This morning's program will begin momentarily.
Okay, good morning and welcome to our last day of our 3-day workshop, Critter Creations with Delari Johnston, all part of our Camp Explore 2022. And thank you again to Roz and Bud Siegel for making this workshop possible. One of my favorite quotes from Einstein is that creativity is intelligence having fun. And I see so much creativity out there today. I think it says a lot. I'll let you all make the leap on what I'm implying, okay? So we will have 2 opportunities to share your work today. We have a table down here. We would like to see where your work is in progress, and then have Delari, if you have any questions, she will answer them and show you stuff. But then to see your final project, because it's amazing how you get from point A to point Z in either a straight line or all sorts of detours. So also a reminder, Delari's critter still doesn't have a name. We need a name for that delightful critter she has on display. So without further ado, get sewing, and we will enjoy the rest of the workshop. Thank you.
Good morning, Margaret. Good morning, everyone. I know you guys are working hard, but while you're working, I'm just going to remind you of the things you guys have learned in 2 days. You guys have learned how to thread a needle, cut fabric, plan and create your design, and then make patterns from your design so that you can cut and then start putting together a whole new creation. You guys have done planning, you guys have done organization, and thought about the order in which you guys were going to put together your creations so that you could get it all done in an appropriate direction. And you guys are doing amazingly creative work. I am so excited to see what you guys are working on. So to that discussion, if anybody would like to share their creature right at the moment and show everybody what they're working on, I have the table up here up front. And so you could show us if there was a trouble spot that you figured out a great solution for, or if you found a new technique that you would like to share with everybody. That would be terrific. And we would love to see what you're working on, because every single table in here has different things going on. And every single project has your personality and stamp on it. And it would be so cool to show everybody what you're working on. So if anybody wants to come up, we can do one at a time. I know people are working hard. Keep in mind not to worry about not finishing for the end of class. We will make sure that you have what you need to finish things at home, because you guys now have skills that are portable and they can go wherever you go. I have been known to sit and sew on the subway. I have been known to sit and sew during class, which is not a great idea because the teachers kind of look at you and they want to make sure that you're paying attention to class instead. But those are things that keep me company when I'm in the car and I'm waiting for an appointment that I arrived too early for. These are skills that you can keep and move around with and develop and make better as you go along and you learn more. So keep in mind, these are portable, and not to panic about not finishing today if there's more that you want to add. But we'll make sure you have the supplies you need to finish with. Alrighty, I'm going to head down the stairs. Is there anybody who would like to show what they're working on at the moment?
Don't be shy, you guys have cool stuff.
I know that some people were working on how to make their anybody have questions about their project, that they are working on a problem that they can't figure out how to solve yet? Oh, the silence is excellent because I know that you guys are working so hard.
Turn your mic on, Delari. Okay, go up to the table up there with Delari and let her work on it.
Yeah, come and show me what you're working on.
Okay, take this piece.
I'm trying to try to I'm just a bit confused on making this pedal over here because sometimes it kind of will go off.
Aha. So we have a beautiful flower happening. And so the question is how to put the petals so that they do a nice fan around the middle. Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah.
Excellent. It's looking really great so far. So since you have done your sewing here, these pins can now come out because they've done their job. So is it going to lay like this when they're done? Or is it going to lay like this when they're done? Which way was the direction you wanted things to go in? Did you want your stitching to be up into the world or hidden down below?
I wanted it to be here, but then I just realized that this looks much better.
Okay. You can absolutely change your mind. So we will continue with the sewing and the hard work on the underside. So your next petal wants to live like there.
Probably, yeah.
Looks good? Yeah. All right. If you would like, would you bring your other petals up and we could place them all so you can get them all placed?
Yeah.
Why don't you bring those up and we'll do that from here. I'm going to bring some pins too because we will need them, and then we'll bring the whole pin box back. Okie dokie. So I love the way you did your overlap of your petals because it looks very real. So we're going to try to do something similar with this guy. So you know how to do the pinning. I think we're going to go this way. What do you think? And then I'm going to fold him back just a little bit and take your next petal, which is the next choice.
This one.
Yep. Excellent. You got it. So flap it back so that your sewing seam is showing so you can put the pin there. Yeah. Excellent. And remember that the table is fabric too, so don't pin all the way into the table. I've done that twice. It's silly. There you go. You got it. And now you can fold him back just for a minute. Do your next guy. And that way you'll have them all set up for yourself. Yep, you have to decide which is the outside end and which is the inside end.
I just don't want to overlap them too much because I only have 2 left.
Oh. That makes sense. Because, yeah, we want to get as much around that circle as we can. So here we go. I'm going to do the flat end on this side. Does that make sense? Because that way you have the big petal on there. And just remember that table. Perfect. And just don't stick yourself with the pin. That's excellent. And then you've got one more space to fill. You've got a perfect amount of petals. Perfect.
Yeah, because remember, you also want to do your decorations on one side before you stick this all together.
Excellent.
That would be nice if you broke.
Is that looking like what you were thinking of? Alrighty. So when you go to sew them, you're gonna flip the whole thing so that you can even just go right around that circle without stopping. I'll carry the pins since you've got the project.
Oh, she's done. Do you mind sharing? Okay.
Alrighty, it was nice to see flowers happening. Is there anybody else who would like to share a little bit of their project while it's in progress?
I love it. Can you share? They're not going to take a picture of your face. That's just
Yes, ma'am. Oh, sure. We would love to see, absolutely. Even if it's in the middle. We understand that all of these are in progress and that they're not finished yet, so they're not like stage ready. But sometimes the process is just as interesting as the final project. When I work in theater, I like watching those videos of people doing quick changes for their costumes that you don't get to see when you're watching the show for real, because it's fascinating to see all the work that goes in. Excellent, I'm coming. Yes.
Use a dowel to stuff that, or is there something I need to get in?
Maybe we can do pencil?
Okay. I just want to know if you want me to get something in preparation for it.
Possibly a pencil. Yeah, I was dreaming about that and thinking that a pencil would be the easiest to poke that stuffing through those narrow spots.
Okay. We could also.
Hey, this is excellent.
Yeah, no, I know. I just, he's so good.
She just said that I should show how I did the nose.
This is such a great, I love this. So you did what inside? What's making it so nice and perky?
Pipe cleaners.
That's terrific. So this has a wonderful nose that has pipe cleaners inside so that you can use those wires to position the nose for any expression you want. And then it has fabric sewn around it like a little trunk, yeah? Excellent, it is terrific. And then it's sewn onto the face.
Yeah.
I love those little cheeks. This is terrific, thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah, I'm really liking this pipe cleaner idea. It's really perky.
So you're doing 3 sides?
Oh, there's serious rainbowage going on over here. I love it. Your stitches are so beautiful. And I like the fact that the threads are very well thought of color-wise. Yes, ma'am.
3-dimensional, 3 sides.
Yes, yes. I was excited to see this one. I'm so glad you brought it up.
So cool.
Is it fun to see it on the screen? It is true. Oh my gosh. So this terrific, now you have to tell me what he is. Is he a crocodile or a lizard or what is he?
It's a crocodile,
Yeah,
cow, and bunny hybrid.
excellent. That's kind of like a cowabunga. So this project has 2 main sides, and then it has a strip that's sewn in the middle to give the whole creature some depth and thickness, and to make it stand up or sit down, and his little beautiful legs are sitting out in the world, and the stitching is the most beautiful contrasting thread that almost looks like little scales. That's terrific. So you're going to put stuffing inside that big box when you get there, right? Oh my gosh, I love it. Thank you for showing off to us. It's terrific. How's Cactusville? It's looking good. Cooper the cactus? I love this. Keep in mind that if you haven't sewn your main body pieces together, then you are still able to do a lot of decorating while they're separate. And then sewing them together at the end is pretty good once you've got decorations going. Yeah.
Can we use this area to fill the stuffing? So just sew together that.
I think you absolutely can. And to make your life a little easier, you can even do a little sewing on the corners and leave that section open. Because that way you still have enough of an opening, but you've gotten some of the good sewing done beforehand.
We have a demonstration of a role play or
Oh, yes, please.
put it on the center of the pad.
Ah, I love this little rainbow tummy. It's terrific. So this wonderful set of pieces are so nicely cut and organized. Tell me how you did it.
I cut out different size rainbow pieces, and then I took the colored thread that matches it and sewed it.
Ah, and the beautiful matching stitches, they are just gorgeous. So this is layers and layers and layers in cascading colors. They're just beautiful. How's it going? How's it sewing through all of those layers? Is it all right?
Yeah, it's actually not as hard as I thought.
Oh, I'm so glad. Because, yeah, sometimes it gets a little chunky, but
I only
you
have
did
one
it.
more.
All right, keep going. I want to see more. Would you like to be? You are welcome to come. Absolutely.
So,
How's your car moving? How's it driving?
good. So this is what I made, like a car.
Oh, this is what that three-dimensional shape is looking like while it's still in progress.
Yeah.
So this beautiful car shape is getting a strip, kind of like a trunk and a roof, right down the top of the project. And then the other side that is shaped like a car is going to sit on the other side. So this is what it looks like while it's in progress, before it's all put together. So this terrific strip is going to make the car that much thicker, so it'll stand up.
And I can just squish it.
And you can just squish it. This is terrific. Thank you for showing that while it's in progress.
Thanks.
It's always good to see, because sometimes it doesn't look like a lot when you're working on it, until all of a sudden it starts to look like that finished creature towards the end. Yes, ma'am.
To know the best way to turn his snake inside out, where should he stop? Should he stop?
Let's see where we're at.
This is a no good.
Let's see.
So I want to try this out.
Aha.
Where do I sew it?
I would say your best bet is going to be you are going to leave a little bit of the head open. So you're going to sew to there, tie a knot, and then start again there and go down to there. If you would like, we can put pins.
Wait, is it possible to make a rattle out of with beads at the end?
Absolutely. So there to there and there to there.
Okay.
And then we're going to turn it inside out and you'll be able to close it up. You guys all right over there? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Margaret is good with ideas. How's it going, Miss Panda? Yay. They're looking great. I love the paws. Those are great. I like it. Keep going. Oh, look at you with your beautiful blanket stitching.
Between these, like something, because some of them have like a bottom, so maybe I need another piece to connect these. What do you think?
I would say if you wanted him to have like a nice little base bottom, you could absolutely add something and it wouldn't be too much like kerfuffle. Yeah, yeah. It might look like a little like lozenge, something, yeah. And that way you don't have, unless you want to do it all the way around like the car that we just saw. So it's up to you, it's what you would like it. And it could be like a spectacular color too or something. What do you-
Well, I happened to find this tie-dye piece.
It's
Was
very
there by
festive.
complete fluke. Okay.
It is very festive. I love it. How's it going? You look like you're thinking. You're all right? I would say that that's the perfect solution, is to have the legs on either side so that you don't lose them. Are you going to make the strip go all the way around, Beastie? Excellent. If you want, you can sew the strip all the strips together, and that way you can do a continuous circle the beast. Yeah. So join all those guys up. How's the wings?
I messed one up.
Oh.
I messed this one up.
Oh no.
So, I thought, oh, what if, like, I thought, what if I pretend that, this side of the wing got, like, all torn up?
Aw, yeah.
So then
He's had a hard morning.
so this is, like, the prosthetic part of the wing?
That's a very cool way to solve that.
Yeah, now I've done all the details, but I don't know what to put on next.
Does anyone have a black Sharpie?
You could absolutely add like a little dimensional strip on there so that it makes it a little like thicker. Or if you're gonna sew them together, just together like that. Which way are you thinking?
I think I was just gonna sew them together like that,
Alrighty.
and then with this white, put it, like, make a stomach underneath,
Sure.
but I don't, should I, like, start on the wings, the ears, or just start, like, sewing the whole thing together?
Let's see. Where are the wings gonna go?
We're gonna go here.
So I would say the easiest thing for you to do would be to keep them separate and sew each wing onto each side before you sew them together. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes
So I think that could be your next step if you wanted it.
Anybody here borrow our black Sharpie?
I have one.
Vincent needs it with the,
I have a thick and a thin, so choose what you were dreaming of. All right. Yes, of course.
I finished, like, over here.
Yes.
So do I stuff it first, or do I sew these? Or can I get the glue for this?
You can get the glue from that either before or after it's stuffed. If you're gonna sew the eyebrows on, I would do that first, because what I would suggest is sticking your hand in there so that when you sew your eyebrows on, you don't sew the back of it shut by accident. So leave yourself a little leeway to get in there. Does that make sense? So yeah, if you're gonna sew those eyebrows on, I would do it before you get to stuffing. Oh, yeah, you can do that too, absolutely. He's very expressive. I'm liking this a lot. want all of those to go in at the same time. Excellent. I'm going to put the piece of paper underneath so that you have some light to see it with, and maybe that'll help guide you. How's it going, Miss Flower? I see. Let's fix this little knot for you then. Let's see what we've got. I think it just got a little tangled.
Somehow, like, my string keeps going into the pedals and I keep...
We can fix that right now. Do, 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 do.
And can I cut this one?
Let's see, where are we today?
It's up to you, it's your design.
So you're sewing. Did you want it nice and gathered, or would you like it to be flat? What would you like? Okie dokie. So the way to take care of that extra tail is to make the needle farther along on the thread so that you have a tail that's much shorter so that it doesn't get tangled up in the project. So you should be just fine now for continuing your seam there. How's it going, Miss Pyramid? It's looking great. I love the sewing that makes the bricks. And the eye is beautiful, that embroidery on there. It's so delicate. You're threading up? Excellent. How's it going? Alrighty, have you added all the decorations you want? I love that little mouth. So is there anything you would like to put on the back before you do the stuffing? Because this would be the perfect opportunity to do that. Absolutely. There are yarns, there are beads, there are buttons, there are pipe cleaners. You have so many options. They could be extremely festive tales. But yeah, see what appeals to you. So for people working, there are beads, there are yarns of different colors and different loops. There are buttons. There are more pieces of felt that are different colors. So all of these can be used as part of your decorations if you see appropriate spots for them. Yes, sir. You still working? All righty. So you see how all of those fuzzies are like doing that? That's gonna cause you a little bit of trouble. So we want them all together in a group. And then you want to put that whole group gently in and then pull them all nicely out the other end. So you've gotten a little fuzzy again. So do your smooth. Excellent. I think you've got almost all of them. And sometimes it is best, if you're getting too fuzzy at that end, to give yourself a nice clean cut so that all those threads match. You did it. That's terrific. Good going. All right. So while it's still there. Ooh. So where are you sewing next? Ah, they're grand. embroidery floss is the thread we're using today. I'm gonna bring those samples down so you can see if there's anything there that we can help you do. So your over the edge stitch, the one that we did that looks like that, would look like this if you did it on the edge of your wing bits. There's also little loops that we can figure out how to do, or zigzags. Yeah. Alrighty, so you're gonna thread your needle up with the color that you want to do that part with. And then I'll show you how to do it.
So when I do my over the edge stitch, mine's always go like bum, and like one is stronger than the other.
You'll notice that they do slant a bit, like they do slant a bit on one side, and then they're straight on the other. And that's just the way they are, because when you stitch, you keep going forward, and so it goes forward with you. But yeah, so you can choose how you want it to look. Oh, sure. Let me come to you in just a second, and I'll get you that threader. Oh, thank you, thank you. So we're gonna sew that way for the first. So I'm gonna make a little loop, and then I'm gonna go with my needle back in the same area that I came out. And then I'm gonna stick it out a little ahead of where I started, and I'm gonna go on top of the loop that I made before I took my stitch. And then when I pull, it gets caught on the thread that I'm pulling, and it makes a loop. So here's my loop. You have to sort of pre-plan this one. So loop, and then I'm gonna go right back where I started, where the thread is coming out. And then, whoops, I lost my loop, so I'm gonna stick it under my needle. And then I'm gonna put that needle all the way through and pull it through, and that loop is gonna get caught right there. So do your pin so that the point and the head are up so that it doesn't fall apart. You can try a couple while I'm around. You can offer it if you like. You can bring it up to the table and show people, and that way they'll know what you've got. I think you're good. Yep. And then right back inside the loop where you started, and then pop that needle point back out. Excellent. And now draw it through, and you'll see that you're, yeah. And now, yep, make your loop. I know it's a little long, but it's good because it'll get you far, because you can see that you're using up a lot more thread with each loop than you would on a regular stitch. Oh yeah, the watermelon rind. Okay.
How to do the seeds because they're super tiny.
Aha. Would you like? Oh, I see. But it's cute. It's very cute. I would say you have a couple of choices. You could do bead seeds. You can do embroidery seeds. I know that one of these has little knots. You could do little knot seeds, which sounds silly.
So how am I supposed to get the beads? Like, should I just sew the beads too then?
They've got holes in them, so you can sew right through them. So if you want, look at the table where the supplies are and see if there's any, and you can make them fun colors or whatever you want. Okay. Aha. I think what's happened is when you make your loop, it's all good. And then you want to put your needle right back in the same place you came out. And then keep your loop nice and flat. And then when you pop your needle out onto the top again, you get them to match at the bottom. So you're going to always put your needle back in where you started to begin with. And you can suspect that when you turn the corner, you're just going to make the loop go in the new direction. So there you are. Make sense? Yeah, see how it goes. Yes, ma'am.
The size of the stitches on the edging so the stuffing doesn't come through.
Okie dokie.
Stitches about an inch long and stuff.
And we can always sew some more after the stuffing is in too. Alrighty, Margaret asked me a very excellent question. The question is, what happens if your creature has stitching on the edge that's going to allow the stuffing to come through? So the gaps, the jumps between each stitch will tell you whether they are secure enough to have stuffing. So smaller stitches will keep that stuffing nicely inside, and really big jumping stitches will give you a little bit of gap so that the stuffing might come through. So you have two choices. Once you've finished sewing, you can do your stuffing and then see if there are gaps, and you can add some extra stitches into the spaces that need some help to keep that stuffing from oozing back out again. Or if you are still in the sewing process, see what your stitches look like, and if you think that it is solid enough with your sewing so that you don't have too many gaps. If you can stick your fingers through your seam where your stitches are, most likely those stuffing bits would be able to come out too. So see what's happening with your project. So very small stitches will keep the most stuffing in and are the nicest and tightest seam. Don't forget to leave enough thread for your knot so that you can rethread.
The over the edge looks cute.
It's looking beautiful. I love it. But they're gorgeous, so they're worth it. They're absolutely worth the time they take.
Yeah, my knee.
Your knee hurts? Why does your knee hurt? What did you do to it?
I think I'm gonna cook off my blanket in the night.
Oh. Well, treat yourself nicely today so that you don't hurt too much. I am going to leave my samples of different stitches up here on the table in case anybody is looking for ideas for decorations or for extra stitching and extra elements on their creatures. You can come and get some ideas. How's Paw Patrol? Oh, they're terrific.
And I'm trying to figure out if I should put a little bit of stuffing in, or whether it should be sort of flat. But what I did was I put a little,
Did you see how cool these are?
I did this so that it would go in easier. Because it was this end, sort of sticking as I went in.
Now, I'm not going to ask if you want to come up to the table, but if you would like to, I would be thrilled if you would show people what you did.
Okay.
So one finished and one like in process so that we can see the insides.
Alrighty.
Are you willing?
Yep.
Let me clear the decks.
And how do we get the camera back on?
Let's see. So we have an excellent use of those pipe cleaners for the hands. So I'm just going to show people.
Okay, so
So this is what, tell me your name, my dear.
Bina.
So this is what Bina was working on for her project. She has these wonderful little hands that have pipe cleaners inside so that she can position the hand and make it do things. So here is the hand before it was made. It has the 2 layers, just like I know lots of people are doing, and it has the pipe cleaner, and she made a very clever loop on the top so that it can have a hole for sewing.
Well, actually, it's just so it would slide in more easily because the end has a piece of metal sticking out. And
Yeah.
it was sticking on the felt, so curling it was making it so that it was smooth as it went in.
That's terrific. So
And I'm
that
still
little,
trying to decide whether to put a little bit of stuff in there.
aw, that's a designer choice.
I know, I
You
haven't-
get to decide.
I know.
Thank you for showing. Watch out for that needle, because I just handed it backwards
Yep.
to you. Thank you so much,
You're
Bina.
welcome.
Ah, there are some excellent things going on. You look like you're having a little bit of trouble with your thread. Are you doing all right? Leave enough for a knot, because I see you're running to the end. Like I see you're almost at the end of that thread. So remember to leave yourself enough extra thread to make your knot with so that you can get more thread on that needle. Does that make sense? You're doing all right? Okay. How's it going in Snake Land? All righty. I don't want you to cut your hair, my dear. Let's see. We have 45 minutes left. That's pretty good, right? No, I think we're doing just fine. How's Monster and Volcano Table? Oh, what's happening to you? You got it. I'm not going to scare it off. You did good. Oh, that's interesting. I got you. Oh, like wings.
Yeah. So I'm gonna sew the sides to try like stuffing in here, like from the bottom.
I think that would be perfect. Yeah.
Do you know where the stuffing is?
It is over on by past Margaret. It's looking terrific. How's it going for you? It's coming out the way you like?
I'm not sure. I guess the only place I can discuss it is here because the petals might not come out evenly.
It might not matter too much. It might be nice to see a little bit of different colors at the edges of those patterns, because some flowers are like all different colors, like even on each petal. So see what you think. Like when you're done sewing the second flower, lay them together, see if you like what you see. Bless you. Yeah. Oh my goodness. It's so heraldic. It's amazing. Like a coat of arms. But I love the little claws. Would you like me to take it up, or would you like to take it up? Alrighty, I'll do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Tell me your name so I can at least give you credit. Tess. Excellent. Oh, please, yes. Hi, how are you? I think we're just going to show the class because I don't think we have either screen. So I wanted to show you what Tess has been working on in the corner of the room. She's been making this excellent dragon, and you'll see that it has a little stuffing in the actual dragon part. So it makes a nice round tummy and a nice round head and some very nice articulated limbs.
He's going to have a wing, but I just haven't gotten around to the wing yet. But I was thinking you could just have them as banners, like you could just put loops on the top and have it be like a rounded banner.
Absolutely.
This is not going to, it's going to be on a pillow.
It's excellent, Tess. Thank you for sharing that.
I'm just gonna leave my camera here on the back.
Okay. Let's see. Is your antennae going to be where the stuffing hole is, or did you want them in a different spot? So then I would reverse engineer, or you can just sew them on.
Go like this.
Yeah.
And put a little pipe cleaner inside like Simon did.
And then they
they'll
would
stick
stand
out
up
at
very
an
perkily.
angle.
Yeah, so I would. You could even, like, because it's felt, it's not gonna have like a shredded edge. But if you wanted it to be clean, you could clump them in. And then I was gonna stick my little finger in, place them where you want them. And then sew with your finger in there so that you don't go all the way through to the other side of the head.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like you're gonna keep sewing from this side.
And then do the same on the opposite. Got it.
But you don't wanna travel to the other side of the head because otherwise it'll sew it shut. Unless you do both of them at the same time, which is a lot to ask of somebody, but it's a lot of like fabric origami. And yes, by all means, if you want a little bit of stuffing in the end, or if you want a little pipe cleaner, I would sew them around the edge first, and then the stuffing will stay when you put it, and the pipe cleaner is excellent. It'll make it very perky and cute. Yes, ma'am.
When we're attaching these, how do we attach them? I mean, do we just sort of stick them in there and then stuff, or attach them to one of the sides, or?
It does not matter. It will equal the same thing in the end. And so I would just, when you're sewing your creature, were you planning on having your stitches on the outside or on the inside?
Oh, the outside.
Okay.
I'm glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
So yes, the easiest would be to just stick it in there and then include it in your seam as you're sewing it around. So it'll just look, and you're gonna go, instead of going around the edge of everything, you're gonna go through the green, around the orange, up the yellow, through the green again.
Do you take away the option of the blanket stitch then? When you do that then?
Let's see. You can still get it done, I think. It'll be a blanket stitch on the front side. Yeah, because I think it won't,
So then
it
it's
won't,
decorative.
yes.
Right, okay.
Well, no, because you're still going through all the layers in your, yeah, I
Yep.
think you can do it.
You'll still, it'll still look beautiful, but you would choose which side you want it to look that beautiful on. And the other side will be just the plain over the edge look. You can always do a little mending stitching on the back to make it look beautiful. Like you can add that little top traveling thread.
Right.
You can always add it back late, like as a second pass. This is terrific. How's it going?
I finished, and I sewed where you wanted me to.
That looks perfect. Alrighty. So I'm gonna get us a safety pin. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've seen those.
Yeah, let me just help her and I'll be right there. What's up?
It was here this morning.
So did I teach you that trick yesterday? So what I do is,
Alrighty. We are ready to turn this inside out. Would you like to come up with, well, we're just gonna do it here. Oh. If we could come to the table. You ready? You wanna come to the table and we'll do this in public? Alrighty, so we have an excellent snake that we are going to turn inside out. So here is our snake. He is inside out and he is going to be sewn on the other side once we get him stuffed. So we are going to take a safety pin and we're gonna put him on one end of this snake. And you are going to tuck the pin in and drag the tail of that snake through. And so we're gonna just scooch. And we're gonna keep sliding the safety pin in through the middle of snake and take the tail and move it along. So come and do. You're gonna keep shoving the safety pin and then hang on to the safety pin so that it doesn't slide backwards and make the extra fabric swallow itself inside. So do from the safety pin end, you'll find it's easier. Because the safety pin is almost like a needle, but it's not pokey, so you can just use it as the guide. So keep sliding that safety pin all the way through. Don't get caught on your stitches. Excellent. And now grip the safety pin and slide the extra fabric. Yeah. You'll get the hang of it, I know you will. And now hang on to that safety pin nice and tight and slide the extra fabric so that it gets turned inside out on the other end. You got it. You're doing it. And it's gonna come right out the mouth of snake. And just do a little bit at a time. Hold the head of that pin so he doesn't go sliding backwards and undo itself. You got it. Keep going. And then it'll pop out the other end and it'll be what you need it to be. I know, snakes are long. It's a marathon.
Why do you have to push a push pin?
The safety pin helps us grip the fabric and turn it inside out. It's kind of like giving us something to hold on to so that it pulls the fabric along to where we want it to be. Excellent. If you want, we're gonna just show everybody just for fun. So here we are almost at the end of snake. He is halfway to be turned around, and I'm gonna grab the head of the safety pin, which is still inside, and you're gonna keep pulling. And now hold on to the bottom so that when you pull, it doesn't go with you. It's kind of like he's chewing on himself. There we go. You're doing it, you're doing it. And now I'll hold this end and you can organize the rest of it. You did it.
Oh, that's great.
Excellent.
Good snake.
Thanks.
It's an excellent snake. So I'm gonna take the safety pin off because you don't need it anymore. You can organize the other end so it's not all tucked in. And then I think you're ready for stuffing, unless
Yeah.
there are other steps you wanted to make happen.
I just have to, I think just sew this, probably.
What I think is gonna happen is we are gonna be able to put stuffing in from both ends and then sew both ends shut, because it's such a long snake.
Yeah.
Just one opening might not do it for us.
Okay.
So the stuffing is over on the table.
That was a nice snake.
Isn't that excellent? And we might need a pencil for getting that stuffing into the right position. How's it going? I think it's doing pretty good. What do you think? Did you add anything on the, oh, I love this tail. That's terrific. Is there anything else you wanted to add? This is the moment to do it.
I don't think I'm gonna add anything.
Okie dokie. So yes, the stuffing is on this corner, so come over this way. Excellent. Would you like to do this up at the show and tell table? Okay. Okay, so here's some stuffing. So small small handfuls going in. You can have as much as you need, but the small handfuls will go in better than like a big wad. So slow and steady. Exactly, and then you want all of those limbs to get as much stuffing as they need. Oh, well, I can come up with you. You want some company? Alrighty, so this little beautiful cactus is gonna get his stuffing now. So we've left an opening in the sewing, and we're gonna do little bits. And if you want, put it right on the table so that the camera can see it. And we are gonna try to make sure that the stuffing is gonna get into all of the corners that it wants to get into. And I have suggested using like a pencil with the non-point end to get the stuffing poked into all of the hard-to-reach places. I would not use the scissors because there is a chance that the points could go through your project and make a nice hole that would have to be sewn up. So pencil eraser end is probably your best bet for guiding your stuffing into the sections that are hard to reach. Ah, it's looking so cute and puffy. Yep. Yeah. I'm gonna get you some more stuffing too. It is amazing. It looked like a lot of stuffing, didn't it? And then it all disappeared into there. So keep going so you've got what you need to do. How's it going, dude? Alrighty. I love it as like a multi-layer flower.
Yes, and then what you sew together. You would just stuff the center, would you not? Or, well, tell me what you're thinking of, and then we'll come up with a solution. Okay.
Why don't I get you guys some stuffing? Thank you. Oh, perfect. I might trade it for another project. Thank you. How'd it go? Excellent. Yep. You want a little more stuffing in that arm? It's a little like woodgy. Yeah. Excellent.
So on this one, did you want it on
How's it going?
Good.
Oh, it's so beautiful, that stitching of yours. Oh, here, if you're aiming for, you can just carry that little wad back to the table with you so you don't have to come back for every limb. Does he want exciting different colored wings?
Well, he wants a wing, but it has to go with him.
Right.
I tried black, that doesn't work.
I have a couple more scraps up at my table. I can see if there's anything else that might add to the interest. I know, it's very fancy. All right, so my little scrap pile is here. You're welcome to see if there's anything in there. House volcano. Did you want those holes in there, or did you make them by accident? Oh, well, would you like to put anything decorative that would cover that so that the stuffing doesn't come out? You could put like a whole different face so he could have different moods. Okie dokie, absolutely. How's your foot stuffing going?
Good, I'm just sewing the bottom part now.
Ah, it looks excellent. Oh, hey, the stuffing is looking really perky.
I want to put beads in here, so should I just like put beads first and then sew it shut, or leave a tiny hole and put beads in?
Do you want the beads on the outside or the inside?
Inside, so it wraps.
I think that absolutely you can do that. I don't know if it'll make a lot of noise because it's kind of like inside the fabric.
Yeah.
But absolutely, then I would put them in before you sew it up.
Or should I like leave it small holes so they don't fall out? Like a tiny hole and then push them in?
Oh, that's interesting. I have an idea. Pick out the beads you want to use, and we'll walk it through. Is your water going to help you any?
I just used them.
Oh yeah. The twisting should do well for you. Is it easier if there's a light background so that you can see the hole in the needle at the same time? Does that make sense?
Oh, I got it.
Nice. Excellent. That might be the solution, is just to have a lighter surface than the table to work on.
Why don't you finish cutting out
He's grand. He's just, I love the cape. I didn't note about the cape before.
the butterfly, orange,
I love it.
some thread?
It's excellent.
There's a lot of other ones. This is just a self.
You want to give it a nice little tummy rub so that the stuffing moves around into all the areas that you want it to move in. Yeah.
And I'll give you some sewing.
He's great.
Just take it.
Well, do you want to add anything on the edges now that everything is sewn? Do you want to add any decorations or prickle spines, or to show that he's an actual cactus kind of thing? Not an actual cactus? Just a superhero cactus? Because I would say he could use some like stitching texture, even if it's not little pokies. I bet you do. You did all of that.
was like when it was separate.
It's okay. I bet you could figure out how to do it even though it's together now. Do you want any beads? There's also some very goofy greens and yarns that look very cactusy. If there's something you want to add on.
I give them a little start.
That sounds perfect. I'm glad you and Margaret were chatting about how to do it. It sounds like a great idea.
So how did it work? Okay, so now.
Let's see. Okay, so you're gonna pull.
Continue showing from where you started. Right, now, again, because you don't want.
There you go. You got it.
You can pull your chair.
You're welcome. So one side has a knot, I saw that. So we want the other side. And now you want to get it out of the loop on the needle threader. So yep, just keep pulling it out so that it's unattached. Excellent. You're ready to go. Did you find a good solution? Oh, very handsome, absolutely. Oh my God. He's great.
I hope you take pictures of everyone's finished project.
If they're willing. If they're willing. Some people like. I'm going to get out of the way.
A picture of the pillow and this guy.
I am so glad you're having a good time. We are so happy to see all of the stuff that's going on.
Just 3 big kids.
I think you've got good company. I think I possibly go home and play with dollies too. That's what I do. Did you solve your problem? All right, but it looks like you're working on it pretty well. I'm liking it. No? Yeah, I think it's working out. Don't be too down on it. I think it's working out just fine.
Hey, Del, we have a finished product. Will you share it?
Yes, please. We have another finished critter up on the work table. So tell me about it.
It's called, it's named Slimy Alien.
This is, the name of this little beast is called Slimy Alien.
Yeah, and it's 2 colors, so it's purple on the front and it's green on the back.
And so she said it's purple on the front, green on the back, and she added this really wonderful little tail that is a pipe cleaner and some beads and then got sewn on. It's excellent. And I love the little mouth. Ah, thank you for sharing. It's terrific. They're great. They're very attitudinal. Good personality going on. Ah. Oh, you're moving good. I love this. You're getting good. Leave enough room on that thread for tying a knot so you can get more thread on that needle. I know it looks hopeful, but it might give you grief later on to try to tie a knot with no thread. So leave yourself enough. All right. Oh, the eyes are looking great. I I like the antennas, and the pipe cleaners are going in, I like that. Ah, they're very expressive. How did your loop stitching go? Oh, it's looking beautiful.
That's actually early, so it's kind of cleaning up.
Alrighty. Were you gonna put these guys together and stuff like that, or are they two separate guys? All right, you still have work to do.
Okay, make sure you get that done too.
Yeah, absolutely. How's Watermelon Land? Very yummy. The rind is looking excellent. I love all the stitching.
So you can take off the scarf.
Aww. I like this new addition. I like this a lot. He's very spiffy. How's it going? Oh, that's perfect. I love claws.
But not gluing, he wants us all,
That's okay.
no, it's great.
He's into it. It's
Yeah.
good. I love this. I love this idea of claws that you guys just developed. This is going to be
You know,
terrific.
there's some scrap, let me get you scrap.
Oh, yeah. How's the stuffing going? You're getting so good at this, though. I'm thinking you're getting these good skills down. Well,
Once I'm finished with this Lego, I have to do this sample.
okay.
Some science activity.
No, don't worry. Is that enough thread to do some sewing, or would you like some more thread? Aw, thank you. Have a great summer. So I want you to get some more thread instead of that little end. Because if you're going to go to all the trouble of threading it, you might as well have enough to work with, right?
Do you think this is enough to just stick up this? Because the after that it's going.
Let's see. Well, you can try it. I think it might go a little short, but absolutely you're welcome to try. Did you do it? Remember to do a little snip if it's like too fuzzy to deal with. Let's see. Do you still have that little needle thread? May I borrow that little needle threader? Thank you, thank you. You want to try with this little beast? Do you remember about this guy? You put that one through the hole first, and then the thread goes through the big loop, and you still want to get all of those strands in the same. And then, yep, give yourself a nice tail to hang on to and pull the flower backwards through the needle hole, and it'll drag the thread with it. I think you did it. And keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. Nah, don't skewer yourself. You don't have to hang that too tight. You just want to let the needle slide. And now that can come off, and it should be threaded for you. What do you think? Did you really get yourself? Do you need to do a wash-up?
It's not bleeding.
Okay. Remember to tie your knot, and you're off and running. Yeah. You want to keep those two sides apart, so don't sew them shut. Oh, let's see. Where do you want your teeth to go? Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to stick some fingers in here so that you are protecting this side from that side, and you're going to just sew from the top. Does that make sense? So put your tooth on. Yep. You want a pin it, or you're going to be all right with it? Alrighty, so we are gonna go from the side up into the tooth. And we're gonna do it all in one fell swoop. And then we're gonna do a nice pull through.
Should I get the other tooth?
Let's get the other tooth in a second. first we need a knot in this thread, so I'm gonna give you some of that back and you're gonna tie your knot there.
I'm gonna give you extra ones, and so she can stuff it as thick or as tight as she wants. Jordan's gonna
Just one go around is usually all right. And get that tail inside. Here, we can lay it flat so you can do it flat.
when she decides that she's gonna go over straight around the edges.
That looks pretty good. Grab the end. Perfect. You want to trim a little bit of extra off of the... Terrific. So, pull this nice and strong. Get your tooth to lay flat. And now, you're going to keep your fingers inside so that you don't catch the back of it. And then you're going to go underneath and then right back out into the next tooth. Does that make sense? And then you're going to pull him nice and strong. Keep pulling, keep pulling. You got it? That looks terrific. There's a guy. Oh, you've got a guy in your hand. Excellent. One at a time. So remember to keep hand inside so that you don't go in through the back. Excellent. And now poke him right up through the white without getting your fingers caught. You got it. I know it's a little chunky, so it's going to take a little bit of work to get there. It's okay if it's just in the black. That's fine. You got it. You're on your way. A round of applause. Thank you, thank you. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Hi, three.
And now a pause.
Yes, exactly.
All right. All righty, guys. This is just a little 10-minute heads up. So I know people are coming to the end. If you are not yet finished with your project, we will make sure that you take a little bit of the stuffing with you so that if you would like to work on these at home, you may, because you now have the skills that will let you do that. So don't panic, and let us know if there are any questions that you have for us while we are still with ya. How'd the rattles go?
Does it rattle? It's hard.
I would say you could put some on the outside and they would absolutely rattle. If you decide. It's looking like an excellent volcano. How'd it go? It's looking grand. Let me see the front. Aw, he's great. Yeah, you've been working hard on this one. I bet they ache. Oh, it's great. Oh, I'm so glad. He's very explosive. All righty. You guys doing all right?
We're just, there was a big loop in the middle, so rather than try to tie a little tiny piece together, I'm just pushing it at the end, which is right here.
All righty. Yes, ma'am.
So if we had more thread, so if you want to solicit that?
Absolutely, we could. Is anybody nearing completion of their critter and they would like to show it at the table before we start our cleanup? I think I left it at the table. Did I leave it at the table with you or did I walk away with it? I would be a sorry sack if I did that. But yeah, let's find one for you. All right. May I borrow the needle threader while you're working on that end of your project? May I borrow that fella? Thank you, thank you. He's looking grand. I love the wings. They're just beautiful. Can't wait.
Is there anyone that could put their project on the mat so they could take some pictures?
So this one you're gonna do, stick the loop through the needle hole first, then do your thread. You don't have to thread it, you just wanna hook it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You'll be able to get there. I know you will. All right, so give yourself a nice long handhold tail and then pull on this side and it will draw everything back through. I know it takes a little bit of strength, just gently. Hang on, and we'll see. Oh. All right, so pull, pull, pull. Keep pulling, keep pulling, keep pulling. Excellent. All righty.
You're ready to share.
All righty, guys. I am going to say that this is the moment where we assess our projects. If you need stuffing in the future to finish them up, you may take a little handful of stuffing to finish your project. Margaret will help give you what she knows you need. We are using in class needles with sharp points and large eyes. So if you're going to continue sewing at home, the supplies we have been using are usually available at any craft store. And so you'll be able to find those kinds of supplies on your own so that you can continue your work at home and then make more creatures over the summer as you see fit, because you guys know how now. Be like a mailer. So if you need a little bit of extra felt to finish your project, this is the time to collect some of that. If you need a skein of the embroidery floss, this is the time to go and pick something out so that you have it with you. The needles, I'm afraid we have to keep for our next class. So that's why I was talking about needles with large eyes, which is the hole that we were using to put our thread in. And they have a sharp point at the end so that they can go through the fabric. So that kind of little information is what you need in order to look for them out in the world so you can finish your work. If there are any projects that you would like to show off at the table before we go, because they're all finished or they're almost finished or they're still in process, it would be a lot of fun for everybody to see while we're doing our little cleanup. All right? Yes, ma'am.
So I started another project after I finished.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I need this felt to finish it. So can I take it home?
Yes.
I already have stuff.
All right. So cleanup. This is where the pins go back in the pin dishes. The scissors get closed, and if they have a cover, the cover can go back on so that the points don't become dangerous to us. If there are any scraps that you are no longer needing, they go back in the big box of scraps. If there's any bigger pieces of felt, they go right next to the scrap box if you're not going to use them. Make sure to take a little stuffing home if you are still in process so that you have it for yourself later.
Putting the googly eyes on.
Glue.
Heavy glue.
Yeah.
Do you have a business card?
I don't know if I'm allowed to, but Margaret always knows where I am. But thank you for the thought. But yeah, Margaret always knows where I am. How did it go? Did you want to take some beads for extra tailness? It's looking terrific. It is so good, and you were so brave to do that turning out. It looked like it was going to be a difficult thing, but you did it. Have a great summer, you guys. If you're disappearing, have a great time. Your flowers are beautiful. How'd it go, dude?
I guess okay.
I'm so glad. The volcano is an excellent, I love his face. All right, guys, if you're disappearing, have a terrific rest of your summer. You want to share it? Absolutely. Come with me. Is there where? So this little monster was created, and I'm going to put him on the table so we can see him.
It's going to look better.
He's got the most amazing teeth, and he's got the most amazing attitude. It's just terrific. There was a lot of work that went into this one.
I think it's going to look better because this is what it is supposed to be.
Aha, so you can put them right next to each other. So this is what the pattern looked like and the design, and this is what the realized whole critter looks like, and they are excellent, both the drawing and the newly made critter.
I'm hoping the detonator gets better over time.
All skills get better over time, and I think you have an excellent foundation for doing that. So keep going. Oh, thank you, thank you. I know the stuffing is nice, isn't it?
Well, you've got a lot of scraps on the floor to clean.
So people who are cleaning up, check your floor area, check your table, check your chairs. Just in case there are pins that are wandering around without you, and in case there are scraps that we can use again, because you've seen now how important scraps are in our work. Oh my gosh, thank you. If you want to cut a little bit extra for yourself, put it in your bag to take home, and that way you can have it for later for whatever your dreams are. Perfect. It's terrific. So take some of the embroidery floss to do the sewing with. The only thing we don't have are needles. So we are looking for large eyes and a sharp point at the end. Ha! Even good, even better. Oh, yeah. I love those. Those are great. You may take the whole skein with you if you want. You don't have to cut a little section. You can do the rest of it. You're welcome, my dear. Thank you for your beautiful work. I hope you have a great rest of your summer. Yeah. We'll just do collections. So any scraps that you're not using, they go in the little trash can up at the front by Margaret's table. Oh, I'm so glad you guys were able to join us. Next time you have to make a creature too.